faces round midnight and roll off like a band of thieves. Mama says, where are you going? When will you be coming home? With my brother and my memory, I'll bring my history home. Ooh. We quivered in eyes and our fear and disguise. We gathered all that was burning to breathe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
The asphalt howling like hellfire. There's no time to get weak in the knees.
Oh man, that's BB Guns and Motorbikes by probably my favorite artist, the White Buffalo. And man, if I could make this book into a movie, that dude would be doing the complete soundtrack to this book. So, good evening, everybody. Good to see you. Ran into some trouble, had to reboot everything because it wasn't picking up the internet, which laptops tend to do from time to time. So, yeah, and this was the time it was going to do it when I really needed it the most. So, anyhow, welcome you guys to b.hive Productions. We're here at Apocalypse Studios doing some of your favorite things. And one of those things would be story time and not a sleepless Wednesday, as Kevin dreaded back in the day. And what we do here on Tuesday Tales is we read. I was like, oh no, right? Yeah, I was too, Jessica. What we do here is I read you guys a chapter from my upcoming novel, The Ballad of Broken Bird. We are coming near the end of the book. I think. I don't know. I'm still writing it. So yeah, I read you guys a chapter. I was reading you a couple chapters every Tuesday, and then I started catching up to where I left off writing, and I said I better slow this down. So we are on chapter 38 now, and kind of the synopsis of the story is Broken Bird is a Native American guy, about 50 years old, and his mother just passed, and he just got a cancer diagnosis. It's his second or third one, and it's not good. It's pretty bleak, and he's kind of just tired of fighting, and he wants to live. So he decides to sell everything he's got and hit the road on his motorcycle. And he headed west. Went through the Dakotas, Wyoming, Idaho, Seattle, Oregon, and then went down the West Coast. He met up with some really good friends in California, and also met up with a very kindred spirit. Sadly enough, she passed away on the trip, and he had to deal with that. And then he reconnected with an old high school friend who was homeless. And then he reconnected with his kids, who he had been estranged from for a while in Texas. And then he went into New Orleans, where he met up with Stella, who was a new love interest for him. And they made their way to Florida, and they are in Pensacola. Stella was having problems with her bike. And hey Chuck, how are you? She was having problems with her bike, and they were talking to a bunch of bikers that were at the Floribama bar complex, and there was a motor club there called the Iron Enforcers, and they met up with a guy named Kelso and his wife Kelli, and they kind of took him into their fold, and Kevin decided to repair his bike. they were heading to Jupiter, Florida to spend Christmas with Broken Bird's family. And it'll probably be his last Christmas. And he just decided to take her with. And and they're kind of camped out right now at the compound and badgers and bees. Um, and Broken Bird gave Stella the choice on waiting until he got back from his Christmas with his family to join up with him again. Because she just thought it might be a little overwhelming meeting family, especially it being in his last Christmas. So, and that's where we're at tonight on chapter 38 in the life of Broken Bird. Um, so, if you haven't guessed, Kelso's character is modeled after my good friend Kevin on here. A lot of his personality is in this character. And when I was designing them with the AI preview, I just kind of typed in Kevin's looks, and then that character popped up, and I went, "Holy shit, that's very close to what Kevin looks like." But anyhow, yeah, I don't know if you guys enjoy those little AI previews. It's kind of amazing how fast AI has grown now because now you can animate your AI images, and as scary as it is, it's worked out really great for me because I can make them super quick and put them together in the format I want, throw music in the background, and have them out to you guys in a week. If I was to draw these up on my own, I don't know that I would be able to put them together in a package like I am able to now for you guys to look at. So I don't know if you guys view them or not. I get a lot of views on TikTok with those previews, but I don't get a viewers count on the ones I post on Facebook. Um, and Instagram also is another one that I get a lot of feedback from. So anyhow, yes. So I apologize for being late tonight. Um, and it was kind of a pain. I watched them. They're cool. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you like them, Kev. Um, there's the yeah, I don't know what it was, but it just wouldn't connect to the internet, and it was pretty frustrating. And I ended up having to reboot everything, and then of course everything has got two-part verification, so I had to have both my phone on and the laptop, and then there had to get them to talk to each other so that I can reboot everything. And yeah, and then I had to reboot the manuscript, and totally lost the place where I was at, so I had to go down to that. So anyhow, it was a good time waster, and here we are. Also, I want to thank Pimo and Rennie for having a couple pork chops waiting for me when I got here in the fridge here at Apocalypse Studios. Very much appreciated. I already wolfed one down, and I'll probably take the other one down after I'm done tonight. So, anyhow, I hope you guys have had a great week so far. I mean, I know it's only Tuesday, but it seems like this week has just gone on forever. Um, I had we had a pretty good coffee with friends on Sunday, and I have to apologize to our guests, Bob Senior and Joan, because we were using the new equipment, and our special guest, our veteran, his mic was not working, or it was doing it intermittently. So yeah, we were kind of scrambling around, just kind of swapping mics around during the show, and a lot of what he had to say. And he had some really great stories. Uh, got omitted from the podcast, which I don't know, makes me want to have them out here again and redo it. So I don't know. We'll look at that for the future. Again, it was new equipment. It was the second time around using it, and we just needed to probably get together and just really run it through a test or something. We should have did that Saturday and then or whatever. Anyhow, um, yeah, that's the way that happened. Yes, very nice friends, Jessica. It's kind of nice that they do feed me. This is one of the things that I've always liked about this town is ever since I moved here as a single guy. Oh yeah, yep, yeah. You'll have to check it out. The parts that did pick up, we did eventually figure out the mic thing. Um, there's still some great stories in there, and it's kind of funny to watch Bobby interact with his parents. Um, but anyway, I don't know where I was at. Oh, yeah, since I moved here to Winthrop, which is over 10 years ago, I've never gone hungry. So many people have always brought food to me when I was really sick and laid up, or when I had smashed my ankle, when my mom died, when my dog died. Somebody was always at my door checking on me to make sure I was okay. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you very much for the stars, buddy. So, um, yeah, so I've always really I've become very attached to this town and the people in it. So, um, I mean, some of them were drinking buddies, and those drinking buddies kind of moved on to their own thing, which is fine. It's what happens with friendships. But I've really kept some solid friends and made some pretty solid friends as well after that. So, anyhow, enough of me babbling. Let's move on with the book, and then afterwards we'll do some chit chatting about what's coming up for the week. Alrighty, alrighty, and thank you guys for being here, and for those of you in the background that just come in to watch and not say anything, thank you as well for coming out here. And if you like my stuff, please like and share it with your friends and family. And let's see. Let's hope I didn't lose the book. Oh, there it is. I do have to make it bigger because I can't read it. Oh, this fucking getting old thing sucks. All right, let's see. Here we go. Magnify. Let's try 120. See what that looks like. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right. Is everybody in? It's time to begin. The Ballad of Broken Bird, Chapter 38. At some time in the night, there was a beating coming from the ground. The heartbeat that had followed me since the beginning of this trip. Thump, thumpa, thump, thumpa. It was like a drum and woke me from my sleeping bag. Stella stayed asleep. Outside, the crashing waves sounded like voices, but they were voices I had never heard before. A chorus of thousands coming from the waves. I was a little braver than I was back when I first camped on the Gulf, knowing that there were many others camped here at the clubhouse, and Stella was lying by my side. No one was going to pull me into that water tonight. I got on all fours and crawled to the flap of my tent. I moved it aside, and there they were. A crowd of glowing human-shaped lamps hovering above the waves. They were chanting my name. I stood on the sand and called out, "Who are you?" "We are your ancestors, broken bird," they said. "We've come to call you home." "I don't trust you. You're not real." "We are real, grandson. We are real, nephew. We are real, son." I had fallen on my knees, sadness welling up inside me. I thought about Mom when she told me the ancestors were coming for her before she had died. "Please," I begged. "I'm not ready yet." "It's not your choice," they chanted. "We've come to help you cross." "I won't go." "Then you'll wander without guides." "I've wandered this far without a guide. I just want more time." Their shapes wavered, blinking as if their batteries were failing. "Ready yourself, broken bird. You have relatives who petitioned your delay. We will return." "Petition?" I asked myself. "Birdie?" Stella asked from behind me, alarmed. "Who are you talking to?" As I glanced from her to the ocean, the spirits were gone. My heart taking over the beating I felt from the ground. "Stella?" I said, coming out of the state of mind I was lost in. "Stella, is that really you?" "It is." She looked worried. "What's going on?" "My ancestors. They were coming for me." "You had a bad dream. You're awake now." I looked up at the water again. It was calm, and the first hint of dawn was turning the sky pink. "Yeah," I said. "What's happening, brother?" Kelso said from behind us, and made us both jump. "I heard you cry out." There was a pistol in his hand. He was ready for anything. Not that I think a bullet would do anything to the things I've seen out there. "I'm sorry," I said. "Had a bad dream." "Hell of a dream. I'm shocked you didn't wake the whole compound." "Again, I'm sorry. Damn it. Well, I'm gonna make some coffee. There's still some flame left on the bonfire. You want some?" "Hell yeah, I do." "I'm heading back to bed for a bit," Stella said. "As long as you're okay." "Yeah, I'm good," I said, patting her hand on my shoulder. "You might have a good hour," Kelso said. "Then a nap might be impossible." "I can sleep through a lot," she said. "We'll see." "Why, what happens in an hour?" I asked. "You'll see." Kelso smiled and headed up to make coffee. There was a loud, thunderous boom that made me almost drop my tin coffee cup. Kelso laughed and Stella flew out of the tent. "What the fuck was that? She shouted, wide-eyed. Give it a few seconds, Kelso said, calmly smiling. Another boom and dual hissing filled the air. It turned into a rumble, and then two blue Boeing Super Hornets dived from somewhere in the sky and then straightened out and glided only feet above the bay. Water fan-tailed on either side of them as they rocketed across from us. Holy shit, I muttered. Are those? They're Blue Angels, Kelso said. There were three other booms, and from another part of the sky, three of them in a diagonal line joined the first two, hissing across in a V formation. They're based out of the Navy airfield across Perdido, Kevin continued. They practice quite a bit over the bay. God damn, I said, watching in awe. This is just amazing as hell. We spoke between sonic booms and roaring jet engines as we watched our free air show. I couldn't imagine ever getting bored of watching this in the morning over a cup of joe. Kelli came down with a tray filled with scrambled eggs and sausages, a small stack of paper plates and plastic dinnerware in a plastic bag hanging on her arm. Anyone hungry? She asked. Whoever petitioned for me to have more time on this planet, I give thanks. I would have missed this. I would have missed a new friendship I have with Kelso and Kelli and the warmth of Stella. I wouldn't have gotten to see my family one more time around a Christmas tree. I snapped one of my cigarettes in half, and I crushed the tobacco out into the slight breeze the jets gave off. What's that? Stella asked. I'm just giving thanks, I said. Oh, I thought maybe you were quitting. I will. Soon enough. She frowned at that and then stabbed the sausage link on her plate. So, I said, looking at my own plate, have you thought about today? Yeah, she said, dropping the sausage back down on the plate, and then looked at me. I think I'm going to stick around here. You sure? Yep. I feel safe here. Kelli offered to look after me while you're gone. Kelso can fix my bike on Monday, and then we'll meet up with you after your visit. Is that cool with you? I asked Kelso. Absolutely, he said. Just give me a call and we can meet up with you in St. Augustine. It's a straight shot from here. Thanks, you guys. We finished breakfast, and I began to pack up my things. Stella helped, and Kelso brought over a can of gas to fill my tank. If you have another attack like you did yesterday, you'll go to the doctor? She asked me. Yep, I said. Don't just yep me. I'm very serious. You don't have much time, and I'd like you to extend it as long as you can. I thought about that little bottle of tincture Kesh from Slab City gave me, and how someone from the ancestors petitioned for me to have more time. I'll call you as soon as I get there, I said, and if something goes south health-wise. Keep two on the road, Kelso said, and slapped me on the back. I will. And I shook his hand and gave him a quick, manly squeeze. Take good care of Stella for me, won't you? Of course. And have a Merry Christmas with your family. I will. You too. I kicked Lucy to life. It only took one kick. Stella gave me a long kiss, and we waved goodbye to one another. A good chunk of the club had come out to say goodbye and wish me luck. They may all look like rough, angry, and rowdy folk, but they were solid and dependable. They were empathetic in their own ways. I know I'll always be grateful to the Iron Enforcers for their kindness, and to Kelso and Kelli for welcoming us into their fold. I was tired of the golf and wanted to steer away from it. Didn't want to visit with the spirits that were watching me and following me. I remember Mom saying they can draw more power from water, and here I was in a state that sat below sea level and was surrounded by it. Ugh. So I jumped on Highway 10 and headed towards Gainesville. Okay, so it was mostly swamp, but it was away from that goddamn Gulf. I took Interstate 75 south and made it to Gainesville by noon. I stopped at a place called Wayne Head's Southern Kitchen, ordered myself the surf and turf, and called the old man. "Where you at?" he said on the other side of the line. He was patient on many things, but not waiting for you to show up. "I stopped in Gainesville to eat and stretch," I said. "Is everyone there?" "Yep. Jack's been asking for you since he got here." I laughed. "Did you bring your new friend?" he continued. "Nope. Her bike is getting fixed, and she thought you guys would want me to yourselves." "Oh, okay then. I'll see you when you get here." "Sounds good, Pop." "Be careful coming out here. It's supposed to be a hell of a storm coming through." "I will." After I finished my meal, I hopped back on to I-75 and headed south to the Florida Turnpike. The Turnpike would take me to Orlando. There were plenty of places I wanted to stop and see. I didn't so much want to go to Disney World or Epcot or the 70 million other attractions there, but I did want to at least stop and reflect. One of the greatest things about road trips is seeing the sights that you don't get to see when you fly. I remember the old Stuckey's tourist stops. There were at least one in every state. Or souvenir shops, world's largest ball of twine, or biggest lint collection, and House on the Rock. You can't fly to those locations. You can only drive to them. And that's the America that I remember as a young kid, with parents that had wanderlust. Man, if I could go back in time and tell that little me he'd be taking this road again, but under different circumstances. And that's what I was looking at. The end of the trail. And something inside of me told me it was coming soon. If it wasn't that group of spooky ancestors, then it was definitely what I was feeling inside. My number was going to get punched. God damn it. I didn't have time to sightsee. I didn't have time to suck it all in. Plus, I had family waiting in Jupiter. Fuck. This trip is starting to depress me. I had wished I bottled some of that water I drank in that cave up in the craters of the Moon Park in Idaho. But I did have this little brown bottle of hoodoo juice I picked up at Slab City. Maybe I should take it now. Get me through the holidays. But after that, then what? Uh, Better to save it, I guess. Still got roads to take with Stella. It would be good to see Seamus and Robin one more time. Hear more words of wisdom and wit from my friend, Ben Lost Horse. I saw the thunderclouds move in when I got to Kissimmee. A sheet of rain rushed up on me and soaked me before I could stop and put rain gear on. I pulled off to this place called the Twin Oaks Conservation Area. There was a shelter out on this dock overlooking Lake Tohopekaliga. It was a bit late to put on the gear, but I was able to pull out the notebook and jot this stuff down. There were plenty of gators slithering around in that water. I don't know how anyone lives here with house pets or little kids. There are so many bodies of water. Gotta be more than Minnesota. And in each and every one, there's a pretty goddamn good chance that there's gators in them. Nope. No, thank you. As I sat and listened to the rain drum on the tin roof of the shelter, and more of it dripped off my head onto my shoulders, I began to think about my childhood. We lived on the lake for most of my adolescence. It was the center of our summers. We'd be fishing or swimming. Sometimes Dad would let us take the boat out, or we'd paddle the rubber raft around the bay. The lake would get pungent by mid to late July. Algae would cover the surface of the lake, but we'd still swim in it. The only thing we worried about was snapping turtles. I remember I would go with our neighbor, Jack Ekstrom. He was a retired airline pilot, and we'd go out in his rowboat and pull out snapping turtles the size of coffee tables. He used them. He used to sell them to the local restaurant for turtle soup. I took over the trade after Jack passed away. He was a good guy. Loved showing us kids cool stuff like catching carp with a spoon of peanut butter and oatmeal balls. Man, that fish could fight. And some nights, he'd take us night crawling for worms, using a piece of red cellophane over a flashlight. Thunder rumbled above and echoed across the lake. Bright flashes of lightning would zip across the skies. Some I could see strike the ground in the distance. My mom was always afraid of storms. Coincidentally, the night she was born, there was a storm. Grandma and Grandpa were fighting. Words were said, accusations released, and a punch was thrown. Granddad left, while Grandma gave birth to Mom at home on the floor. She was premature and almost didn't make it. My great granddad, who found her, used a shoebox as her incubator, setting her near the wood stove. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't like storms too much either. The wind picked up and blew off the lake. I packed up the journal and curled myself into a ball. I was shivering, feeling like ice was running through my veins. I thought about the storm that hovered around the hospital when Mom died. I also thought about the storm that happened when I was under the knife and almost died on that table. You coming for me? I noticed I was rubbing the side of that little brown bottle. Or are you just watching me, waiting? Thunder boomed as if in answer. I wish I knew what it said. I had 2.5 hours left. I texted my dad and told him I was holed up until the storm passed. He said not to worry, and they would keep dinner warm for me. Lucy sat in the gravel lot, looking at me like I'd abandoned her. At least I could see her now. It was raining so heavily before when I got there. I couldn't even make anything out on shore. I couldn't call anybody because the rain was so loud on the roof, and probably shouldn't be holding a cell phone while lightning is flitting about, playing tag with the nearest objects it can find. And soon the roof got quiet, and I looked out, and there were only trickles of rain dripping into the lake in little round circles on its surface. Risk it? I guess I couldn't get any wetter than I am. But goddamn if I wasn't freezing. My jeans were pelted to me, while my boots squished with every step. My leather coat felt like it weighed about 150 pounds. I coughed several times, but had my inhaler waiting for me in my hand for such a moment. It took 4 pumps to do anything, and there was a lot of shit that came out of me. I almost puked. By the time I had Lucy idle and steady, the rain had stopped, and a heavy fog came in. I drove slowly towards the main road to get back on the turnpike. I thought perhaps a gator would take an opportunity to snap at me. I could only see roughly 10 feet in front of my front tire, so I was cautious until I got onto the Florida Turnpike. The fog cleared by the time I got to Fort Pierce, and I was dry except for where my crotch sat on the seat. Humidity started to bake me, and I felt the pangs of a cold coming on, that annoying scratching of the throat when you swallow, a mystery building up in the sinuses, the aches and pains starting in my joints. The Atlantic Ocean greeted me in the distance, and I jumped on Interstate 95 and headed south to Jupiter. I was bogging down and knew I wasn't feeling good at all. This was going to turn into pneumonia. I wasn't trying to be down, but I knew my body. Pneumonia and I were close friends since my last bout with cancer. And isn't that how a lot of us go at this age or older? Pneumonia? I've lost a few friends who had that as their last diagnosis. Christmas Eve. Maybe this is where I say my goodbyes. And that, my friends, is the end of chapter 38. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's always fun when I get to use my little sound effects. But yeah. Anyhow, that was a lot of flashbacking. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. There was a lot of flashbacking on this chapter. I was thinking about a lot of the road trips we used to take as a family. It was just my mom and dad and myself. Um, when uh, when my dad got done in the Navy, we moved from Hawaii and got to California, and he bought himself a well, back then it was in the early '70s. He bought a new Malibu Super Sports, and you have a wonderful gift, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, well, thank you for saying that. Thanks, brother. Another chapter that grabbed the feels. Good, man. Good. Um, yeah. So, my parents were like gypsies, man. We didn't move. We traveled. We would just stop every once in a while here and there, and California. We were all over California, and a lot of those road trips that we did as a kid are reflected in this book. Um, there was a lot of the chapters that everybody's been asking me if I know how this book ends, and how it works is you have an idea how it's going to end, and then you just got to figure out how to get there from where you're at, and and it's funny because I thought that the end was going to come up sooner than it already has. To be honest with you, he wasn't supposed to make it anywhere past New Orleans, and then my thought was he was going to bite it in Florida. But anyway, I shouldn't give everything away because Florida hasn't come yet, or well, it is, but not Jupiter. And now he has pneumonia. So, but the it's funny how this has happened. Bobby was kind of joking around, like, "Is this book ever going to end?" And he's like, "What chapter are you on?" I'm like, "What chapter 45, I think." And he's like, "Is it gonna? You just gonna keep going? And like in July, you're gonna be chapter 124." I'm hoping not. Um, and I guess if you look at it in a way, Broken Bird has been holding on to staying alive, and I totally get that. He's been the one kind of in control of what's been happening from since New Orleans. He's been the one that's controlled who he meets and where he's going. Um, he's controlling this whole Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be a kind of a. There's a lot of feels coming up here in the next few chapters. Um, between a father and his son, and yeah, and a family dealing with a family member that has a diagnosis of fatal cancer. So there's going to be a lot of feels in this because he's going to get really sick, and I don't want to say if he's going to die or not, but anyways, as I was saying, a lot of the dialogue is I don't plan the dialogue. It just all of a sudden, next you know, I'm writing that he's having a really tough conversation with his dad, or he's having this conversation with Kelso, or Kelso is doing this, or Kelso shows up with that, or Stella is feeling this way. It's all been happening organically and without any input from me. It's just been here it is. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go with it. So this book has been really good for me to write, and I will say that. And it's had to come out in a very long time. It's been begging to come out. If you don't know, I've been working on this book for about over 16 years. So have a great night, Chuck. Thanks for coming in, man. I'd like to be in control of my end time. Right? That's the thing too. As an author, you are kind of the god of the world that you're creating. Um, but really, you're not. At least for me, I can't say because I'm not a real author. I'm a self-published author. But for me, the characters pretty much take control. And when I'm writing, or the reason why I start writing is because the characters are in my head saying, "Hey, are we just gonna sit here forever? I'm getting kind of bored." And the Iron Enforcers have ran out of booze and cigarettes, so can we get going? So yeah, um, so I do feel that the characters are in control of the story and of what happens, and it's just my job just to tell it. And I'm very happy that you guys have enjoyed it. I've gotten really great feedback from this book. Um, I've had friends from high school go, "I didn't realize that was what your book was about. I thought it was another one of your horror stories, and I'm not really into horror." And I go, "Yep." I said, "It is. I don't. I guess I would consider it drama, or adventure, a road story. I don't know. I don't know how I would classify this book. Um, but I would just always say road story, human life story, something like that. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But it's not horror. Yeah, there's ghosts in it. But yeah, they're spirit, you know. And he's Native American. Even if he was Maori, it'd be spirit, because spirits are there to guide us, and they are guiding him. And I thought I would let you in on those little visits. So, anyhow, I'm going to call her a night. I'm going to eat this other pork chop that Pimo and Rennie left for me. Thank you very much for joining us here at Apocalypse Studios for b.hive Productions Tuesday Tales. You guys have a great night. So this week, Thursday, Bobby is going to be out. Evidently, his work is more important than hanging out with his buddy Brad, playing music. So I don't know if I buy all this stuff when he tells me, "Oh, thank you so much. I love playing music. It's really good for me," because I think he just likes working or spending time with his family. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do something solo. I know we were going to have one of our one of our viewers, Troy, was going to come and jam with us on Thursday. He has surgery, and he wanted to do something fun before surgery, but he isn't able to make it either. So I think with two guys missing, and I haven't done a solo show in a very long time. Um, so I don't know if I'm going to do a solo show or if I'm just going to cancel it. So stay tuned to hear, and I'll make up my mind before Thursday and let you guys know. So yeah, but I do believe we're all going to be around for coffee with friends on Sunday. So that's what we got going on there for the rest of this week. Love y'all. Join us again next Tuesday for chapter 39. All right. Peace and a bottle of hair grease. Mwah. Love you, Kevin. There you go, man. All right. Love you guys. And yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to listen to this guy, he is the shiznit. It's the White Buffalo. This is BB Guns and Dirt Bikes.